Now we're going to start deleting some organizations. So we'll start off in the vCloud Flex UI. In order to delete anything, you have to first disable it. So I disable it, and now I'm trying to delete new org 3. We've got our confirmation. I said yes. However, since we have some VDCs and some other child elements, it's not going to let me do it. So let me go ahead and get this re-enabled, and we'll take a look at some of the workflows that I've put together to help remedy this little situation. As you can see, we have a catalog, vApps, a running VM, 26 users, and a virtual data center, all in new org 3. So over here in Orchestrator, I have a workflow that I've created called Delete Full Organization. And as you can see in the workflow here, I make several calls out to other workflows, depending on whether or not an org has users or catalogs or VDCs, etc. So let's go ahead and execute the workflow. Now we'll need to specify which organization it is that we want to delete. And new org 3, there we go, get that selected. And I've got my confirmation in here, are you sure, with a default to no, because this will delete the organization and all the child objects. So I'll go ahead and select yes there and click on submit. So as this executes, it detects that there are some users, so it calls out to the delete all org user workflow, and it'll go through and delete all of the users for that particular organization. We'll click back over here to our vCloud interface and get a refresh here of the organization, and we'll see that the users have gone from 26 down to 0. All right. If we take a look over here in our vCenter client, we can see that the running virtual machine was getting shut down so that it could be deleted. And we see that the execution has completed the delete all org users, delete all org catalogs, and delete all org VDCs. So now we are finally doing the cleanup of deleting the actual organization itself. And the folder was just removed. Alright, so that has completed, and we can see here in our vCenter client that we no longer have a new org 3 folder. We only have the new org 1 and new org 2. And refreshing over here, we see that again, new org 3 is gone. Now that's all fine for just a single organization, but let's say you have a test environment where you've been building up a bunch of organizations and you've used my initialize organizations, and you want to get everything cleaned up except for the system org and maybe 1 or 2 control organizations. So I've put together a delete all organizations workflow here, and we're using the web operator so that we can see the warnings in our nice bright red. Now we'll select the cloud host that we want to do this process on. There we go. And we have our confirmation here, yes and no. Of course, it's defaulted to no. Now we've got the do not delete these orgs, and as you can see, I've got my system and my provider org there, so I'll accept that. And everything looks good, so I'll go ahead and click on submit. Now if we take a look at the process here, we can see that the state is waiting because we have another confirmation screen here. This is a pretty hefty operation, so we want to make extra sure that we really want to do this. New org 1, new org 2, and manual org will be deleted. Yes, we're sure, so we'll go ahead and submit. If we take a look over here in our Orchestrator client, we can see that several of the steps have been completed for each of those organizations. Take a look here in our vCenter client, and we see that these folders are getting cleaned up. When all is done, we should only have our system folder, our provider org, and our service VMs folders. And we'll just double check our vCloud Flex UI and confirm that indeed we only have left our provider org that we said to save.